Hey, this is Coach Shay with Alpha Girl Soccer Academy, and welcome to the Alpha Girl Soccer podcast show, where we aim to inspire, empower, and positively impact female athletes. Welcome back, guys. So I've got a super important topic that I wanted to talk about on today's episode that it's not talked about quite enough, in my opinion. So as athletes, we tend to get wrapped up in our identity in our sport as an athlete. And I am completely guilty of this. I struggle with this a ton when I was done with my sport. And it can also be true for parents and coaches. So it's super important, and this is why we're talking about this, is super important to find your identity outside of sports, because one day you won't play sports anymore. And even if you're playing until you're 90 years old and have a broken hip, you have to find your identity as a person, not just as an athlete. Because if you are tied up in your identity as an athlete only, when you get done playing, you're going to have to find yourself. You're going to have to figure out who you are. You're not an athlete anymore, so who are you? Okay, so the first thing that you need to do in order to find your identity outside of sports is to realize that sports is what you do. It's not who you are. Again, sports, soccer is what you do. It's not who you are as a person. Okay. So this one is extremely important. It takes a little bit of self-awareness, a little bit of thought to figure out, who am I as a person? Who am I? Okay. And number two is to find new passions, learn new things, gain confidence doing things other than just in sport. When you gain confidence and you try new things outside of your sport, you gain confidence as a person, not just in your sport, but you gain confidence as a person, which is going to help you in your life after sports. If you're only confident in your sport and you have your identity tied to your sport, then when you're done playing, you're only going to be confident as an athlete. You're not going to be confident as a person. So this one is super important, to find other things that you can gain confidence in. It doesn't have to be this thing that takes up all your time, but learn new things, try new things that you can gain confidence in to prove to yourself that you are a confident person and that you are more than just your sport. And number three, realize that when you're done playing your sport, it's going to suck. It's not fun. I can tell you from experience, when I got done playing my last game, I was so incredibly sad. And that's okay to be sad. But the reason why I was so sad is because my identity was tied up in soccer. Same with my teammates. When people would ask us, hey, who are you? Oh, I'm a college soccer player. We told people what we did. We didn't tell people who we are because we didn't know who we were. So I want you to think about, who am I outside of sports? And when you're done playing, if you know who you are outside of your sport, it's still going to suck when you're done playing because it's something you love, but you'll be able to move on faster. You're going to be able to succeed in whatever you do because you know who you are as a person and you are confident in yourself as a person, not just as an athlete. So this question was actually asked by one of the parents in my private Facebook group, Alpha Girl Confidence. So if you're a parent and you have a daughter, this group is a must. This group is awesome. I post a lot of cool stuff. I go on there live. I do free workshops for your kid. So go join us in that group. It's called Alpha Girl Confidence. I'll post a link in the show notes below. But I hope this episode helped you. Whether you're a parent, you can share it with your daughter, or if you're a player and you may not feel like your identity is tied up in sports yet, but eventually it will. So I want you to do the inner work and figure out who you are outside of sports. And I promise, if you do that, your transition from sports to your career, to your family life, is going to be much smoother. Okay, so, and if you enjoyed it, please let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Send me a DM on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. So let me know if you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you on next week's episode.